So this is called a lorax, and it's a log with a hole drilled in it and an anchor at the bottom, and my wrist is chained to the anchor, and the log is covered in nails to make it harder to chainsaw. We've been trying everything else, We've voted, we've written letters, we've made phone calls. None of it's worked. This is where social change comes from.
In 2021, protesters did whatever they could to stop workers from tearing down old-growth trees in Fairy Creek, BC, on Vancouver Island. It was the largest civil disobedience that summer, and a new documentary on is screening in our city this week. We welcome Jen Muranetz, who is from Edmonton. Good morning, Jen.
Thank you for having me.
Set this up for us. How did this story fall in your lap?
For sure. Well, the Fairy Creek blockade was getting started, and there was only a handful of people that were really going out there, and they were gathering to stop old-growth logging out on southern Vancouver Island. And I had someone I knew that was going out there, invited me to come out and film, and I thought I would go out and just be curious and see what was happening out there. And I thought I was going to go for 3 months. I ended up staying for about a year and a half.
Wow.
Based out of Victoria, which was a few hours away, and I would travel out there for anywhere from a couple days to a couple of weeks at a time and document what was happening at the blockade.
So a super extended stay for you. What was it like for you and your crew out there?
The conditions were, at the beginning, very similar to kind of car camping almost. And for us, we were just focused on getting to know the people on the ground, kind of from all facets as well, just the blockaders as well as some of the forestry workers. And as things started to escalate, the RCMP came in. There started to be exclusion zones that were set up, and it made it a lot harder for us to get access to our subjects that we were interviewing with. And so we had to get super creative. We were often hiking through the woods, up logging roads, 10 plus kilometers at a time with all of our gear on our back, just to get to the story and where things were happening.
Can you expand on the details of some of those tense moments? Like, who were you really knocking heads with?
We specifically were always, we were the members of the media, so we were just representing ourselves and trying to be as neutral as possible, but we were following largely the blockade arc and the culture of the blockaders, and so they were butting heads with the RCMP or forestry workers at any given time. And so if we were kind of caught up in that scene, we would also kind of be in that mix, and things would escalate pretty quickly. At times there would be pepper spray involved or just very aggressive force, especially to some of the blockaders who were people of color or Indigenous blockaders. And so for us, we just kind of had to be witnessing all of that at any given time.
Now, the fight for environmental rights, it extends beyond BC. So how is this relevant to Alberta? Can we bring it back to our province?
For sure. Yeah, Fairy Creek is very much, a BC story, but it's also became Canada's largest act of civil disobedience, and we look at it as a very universal story. So everywhere we've been screening it so far, we went down to Montana, we've been out to Toronto, we've been in different places in BC. People see it within their community. They can see the universal nature in that story, which is that whether you're standing up for old growth trees or any other cause, Fairy Creek really brings out the stakes that people are willing to go to stand for what they believe in.
Now, there is a screening tomorrow night. What are you hoping people take away after watching this?
Yeah, we're excited to bring it to Alberta for the first time at the Metro Cinema, and I really want people to watch it and just reflect on their own relationship to activism, whether or not it's environmental or whatnot, whatever it is that they believe in, for them to just reflect on what is their boundary, what is their line when it comes to taking a stand for what they believe in and what's important to them.
Well, Jen, thank you very much. Welcome back home, and hopefully the screening goes well.
Thank you so much.
Fairy Creek airs at Metro Cinema tomorrow night at 6:45. There will be a Q&A with Jen afterwards, and you can find out more or get tickets at fairycreekfilm.com.